This podcast is presented by the Petite Victory Collective. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Modular Stories. In this podcast, I would like to create a platform for people to share themselves, their stories, their experiences, and their life lessons. Before each episode, my guest can build and patch their own background music with the help of my modular synth. My goal with this podcast is to inspire the listeners, spark their creativity, and to share these incredible people I get to talk to with the world. I hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Modular Stories. Today I have Tim with me. He's a bassist and singer and songwriter, producer, whatever from Martes. And yeah, why don't you introduce yourself a bit?
Hi, I am Tim. And as I've already been introduced, I graduated from Artes last summer in the June of 2023.
With a beautiful graduation concert, I might add.
Thank you very much.
Super insane.
It was a lot of fun. And officially I graduated as a bass player, and officially my main subject has always been bass guitar. But we've just been talking about this before we started recording, but what does it even mean to have a main subject, you know? Like, main subject, it's so arbitrary. And I'm now doing a lot of music production. I'm working on my own original music. I've started doing like silly YouTube videos, which I'm enjoying so much. It's so much fun. And now I'm kind of figuring out what to do post art school, you know?
Yeah. How's it going so far? How's the afterlife?
It's weird. It's very strange. Not gonna lie. It's very weird because in here, like in this art school bubble, you're so closed off from like the real world in a sense. It's a very and I'm seeing this now retrospectively. It's such a privileged, like kind of socio artistic fields. I'm coining new terms right now. Yeah. Write it down. It's going to be relevant for the test.
It's a little world in itself.
Yeah, but I mean it really is.
Yeah.
And coming from here back to Germany, because that's where I live now, I basically moved back to my hometown, which is like in the middle of the Ruhrgebiet, in the Ruhr area. It's like this big conglomerate of cities. It's been tough, I must say, because there's so much going on here, and there's essentially nothing going on where I'm living now. Like either artistically, musically, but also not socially in a sense, because in here, you see so many people all day, every day. You have so many opportunities to create and be creative with others all the time.
Yeah.
And that practically went to zero, like from 100 to 0 very quickly. And that was kind of hard to start to deal with. And I had a phase where I was feeling, I guess, pretty lonely, you could say. Not only socially, but also musically, because all of a sudden, just again, basically, I was the only person like pursuing music or like pursuing all these creative endeavors, like this in this to this extent, and it's been a weird process figuring out how I can keep my creative flame alive, you know, because here it's super easy because you see all these people with just this hunger to like create or excel at their art, at their craft. And now I'm just spending time with people that have like, it sounds so stupid and so privileged to say, but like who have regular 9-to-5 jobs, who work to just get by, you know, that don't have this innate passion or flame for what they do in their life, you know, and this shift in my brain was very difficult to pull through because, again, it's. Man, I cherish the time that I had here so much because it has never been so easy to be creative. And it's never going to be so easy to be creative ever again, most likely. Yeah. Unless there's like the big breakthrough and I can do whatever I want, which is very unlikely.
Coming.
Let's be... Well, fingers crossed. No, but... I'm still figuring it out. I'm like still on the way. But I've kind of gotten into a rhythm. I also have a day job now. I work at a bakery selling broodjes every day, like 5 days a week. And it's been very tough to not fall into this like mental pit of, oh my God, I'm the failed musician, you know, I'm the failed music graduate. I did like 4 years of studying here, and now I'm working at a bakery. Like, what am I doing? I'm such a failure, you know.
No.
Sounds very radical, but that's a thought that definitely occurs, you know. And I'm also still coming to terms with it, especially coming back here to visit, and like being in this very artistic bubble again. It's like, oof, man, I hope they don't find out I'm not making all my money making music now, you know? Which is like such a stupid thought to have, because obviously you're not gonna have this super excelling career right away, you know? And realizing that for all of us, like we have to like all of us have to make that step at some point, like stepping out of this bubble, because you also just can't be a student forever, or you shouldn't be, at least. Maybe that's a good thing to say.
Yep.
And I'm glad that I did it. Still figuring it out, but it's going good so far, I would say. I'm very glad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. I have to say, like, for me, it was the same experience, but in the opposite direction. Because last year I started here, and I suddenly realized, oh my God, this is super nice to be in this like creative bubble of just this melting pot of creativity and spark and passion, and everybody around me is the same in figuring out and doing what they love for what they do, and it's super inspiring. I totally get that, but it's, of course, it's not reality, as you say. It's something else. It's the like beautiful dream that you have on that you want to basically go back to, as you said, with like breaking through and just being able to do music full time again and just doing what you love. But yeah, it's a scary step. Scary.
It's a scary scat.
It's a scary scat.
Skibbidi-bop.
It's a scary step to take, but I'm sure you'll figure it out, and it's gonna be fine. I mean, you're already doing a lot of great projects and working on really nice stuff. You started the YouTube channel. You're uploading now. You released your first single, and from what I heard, you're working on more singles and eventually even an album. So yeah, that sounds super exciting.
It is, and also this actually ties in very nicely to the whole music school thing. I've kind of touched on this in the beginning a little bit, but everything that happens here is so arbitrary, and it's like, sure, my main subject has been bass guitar always, but that never meant that I exclusively had to be a bass guitarist, you know? And that took so much time for me to understand, because also when I started studying in 2019, and in the middle of my first year, that was when the not so nice thing happened. I'm not even gonna say it because we're all tired of hearing it, but that also robbed me and all of my other students, all of my fellow students at that time, of so much time and so many resources that we could and should have used. So I feel like this whole process of like me figuring out what I actually want to do, independent from music school, has been so delayed. And just kind of around my final year, that was like the point where I kind of thought, okay, I think I have a hunch. Like on what I want to do. Yeah. And so now, not now, but like recently, I've been starting to get like a lot more into music production and just writing songs without any prejudices in my mind. As in, so what I'm talking about, like when you get here, it's like I'm the kind of person who's very easily influenced by their surroundings and who's also very quick to like doubt themselves and like to see the fault in myself. Yeah. And getting here and seeing how people are like super deep into jazz or like super deep into, I don't know, like other kinds of music, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe I should be doing this as well, but like not from a place of like intrinsic motivation, but more of a place of, oh, I think I'm a lesser person if I don't do this.
They all doing it, so what am I doing wrong that I'm not there?
Yeah, exactly. And then subjecting myself, like, oh my God, in my second year studying here, that was like, I think my lowest point in terms of not having no idea who I am and what I want to do, because I subjected myself to so many things that I thought I should be doing, but that eventually just like ended up dragging me further away from my path, in a sense, you know. And at the end of the second year in the jazz and pop, you have to play a CRP, critical response process, which is not really a graded performance, but it's more about like the CRP, the critical response process is a feedback method, essentially, that has like certain steps that you need to follow. So you have to prepare like a little concert of like 5 songs. You can do whatever you want. It's more about the feedback process than the actual concert. And I remember at the end of my first year, at my first year exam, the teachers told me, yeah, it was nice, but we would like to see some more like jazz from you in the future, because up until that point I've been like solely like groove, you know, only playing Wolfpack songs all the time, with absolute high life. It was the best. But then they told me they want to hear more jazz, and I was like, yeah, fair enough. Like, it's called jazz and pop for a reason, right?
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like take this jazz ensemble, and I'm gonna take lessons with this other teacher who's like very proficient in jazz, and I'm gonna do all these things. And when I got to the CRP at the end of the second year, it was a disaster. Like, I mean, it was not like awful, but it was very easy to tell that I didn't do this out of my own volition, but more so because I thought I had to do it. And I also, like, when I'm doing something that I'm not really convinced of myself, I'm not getting into it. Like, it's like I'm trying to like take up the material, but it just like,
it's lack of motivation.
Yeah, and it's just I just couldn't care less about like playing jazz standards, you know. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love jazz still, and there's some great standards out there. But like this whole thing of like, again, being surrounded by people who are like, yeah, and do you know like this super specific standard and like this super specific version by like this artist, and like
this chord there with like this major, minor, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like Live in Japan, 1989, and I'm like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Like, I kind of know the melody of the song. That's it. Yeah. You know, and yeah, it's been tough because like all the time, like the entire time, I had the feeling I'm not like sufficing in this, you know. And all the teachers, like a lot of the stuff that my teachers told me boiled down to, yeah, like you just got to get into it. Like you just have to figure it out yourself. And I'm like, yeah, but what if I can't figure it out myself? Yeah. You know. I don't know. It's been a weird process. And then in the CRP, like again, you could tell that I was just not very well prepared, and I was playing with people that I really enjoyed playing with, but obviously I was like the weakest. Bless you.
Thank you.
I was like the weakest member of the band, which is like the worst thing that can happen when you like want to present yourself. You don't want to be perceived as like the weakest part of the whole thing. So that was kind of mesmerizing to me, and also gave me like a solid breakdown. And and that kind of started this whole process of, yeah, but like, what do I want to do? And then throughout my third year, I kind of tried out a lot more things. Also just away from all of these expectations from music school, and also starting to stray away a little bit from I have to play bass guitar all the time, I have to be the bassist, you know. And that's essentially where I started like getting more into music production and like making my own little silly songs. And I found so much enjoyment in it. And I was like, what am I even doing in school, you know? Like remembering that like every time I went to the main subject lesson, which is like one-to-one lesson on the instrument that you have as a main subject, in my case bass guitar, going to bass guitar lessons and like standing in front of the door of the room and just being like, what am I even gonna do today? I don't even like know what I should be talking about, because I just kind of don't care at this point, you know? And like these things happen more often, like over and over, and I was like, maybe I should reconsider what I actually want to do, you know. And that's when like this whole paradigm of I gotta be the bass player started wearing off a little bit, and I could let myself do other things that I really enjoyed that had nothing to do with like all of these like ideals and like all of these like maybe even more ideologies that like kind of come with studying an instrument in a sense, you know. And so I released a song a few weeks ago, my first song with a little stupid music video, and it's been such a blast. And like I also played the song on my final exam, and the final exam being like this concert that like everybody has to play, and you can essentially do whatever you want. They just want to see that you can provide quality, and And for me, I knew that this is going to be such a like compromise in terms of the grade that I might be getting for the concert. But for me, it was totally clear. I want to play my own music, my own like compositions, and also my own, because the songs that I do are essentially pop music, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, how can I implement them? And then this whole playing bass and singing thing started happening, because of course I cannot just play my songs without playing bass, because it is still a bass guitar final exam, right?
Yeah.
So that was like the compromise that I took. It's such a blast. It was so much fun, and this entire thing has been such an experience for. Just recently, I saw this like stupid little meme on Instagram with like a funny picture, and it said, "Your vibe attracts your tribe," and I don't know. It was such a stupid little thing, but that resonated with me so much, and I was like, yeah. Like as soon as I started the things that I do with conviction. Yeah. And that I really believe in, and that I really enjoy doing myself, I started attracting the right people, the right, I don't know, I guess the right vibes in a sense, and the right feelings also. And everybody was so like appreciative of what I was doing, and people kept telling me, yo, this is so much fun. Like the people in my band, they all had so much fun playing in my band, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want. And it like this has been such an validating experience for me. And this proved to me, yes, if I do what I do with conviction, then everything's gonna be fine. And releasing this song has been such a staple for me. This is like the first thing I ever released under like my name, like me as an artist. So it's been very exciting, and yeah, it's I don't know, it's a great start. I'm like so thrilled to just keep going and to just see what the future holds and just never stop.
Yeah, I totally agree. You touched on like so many important points that I want to like touch on as well and grasp from your perspective, because as you said, it's weird that although we come to this school as like a music school and we all know, okay, this is my passion, this is why I'm here already. And then still you have a lot of moments where you feel like, oh, this is not me. This is not exactly my passion. And I also found it interesting from your perspective, but also from my personal experience, how detailed and how still you can find so many things that you don't want to do at all in the passion that you have. Like you said with jazz music, that you're still, or like specific jazz, that you say, okay, I want to study this and I want to do music, but this song I hate playing. I cannot get into it. I hate doing this. And I find it also interesting from like my experience to see this. Oh God, it's still so nuanced in where your passion lies, and it's such a journey to find that out. And I'm so happy for you that you feel like you have found that now. And I really really admire that. That is super nice, and it's nice that you went through this really reflective process of finding out and being like, okay, this is not it. Maybe let's try this and see where it goes. And I feel like our TES as well as a school is kind of nice to give you a lot of freedom in what you do. Also with the graduation concert, that you just get 1 hour of do something that is you. And it was super nice to see your concert. I was there and I absolutely loved it. It was so nice because I think and exactly as you said, it was just you, and it is what you love, and it doesn't matter if it's what you're supposed to do there or what people expect, but you could just see that on the stage this was you enjoying yourself to the max and just having the time of your life. And of course that attracts people as well. And I think it's the same if you look at movies. If you watch a movie, you like the movie with the interesting character and with like the main character that has this spark and this nice personality, and you like that person. You don't want that to be you, but it's okay to be a different person, and you like these characters. And I think that is the same in life. If you meet a person, and I'm just going to call you that character now, you're just you. And it's beautiful to see that you can really bring that out and that make people see who you are truly. And to see you do what you love is, I think, the most essential thing. And there also, your YouTube video is so you. And I think that's the most beautiful thing you can say about it, because it's just you, and I feel like there you really found yourself, at least from my perspective. And I'm always looking back to that conversation we had on my balcony in the summer when we were producing like your first single, just sitting there eating cornflakes and philosophing about life and about where to be and what to do and how everything is weird and difficult, and it's
yeah that's true. I also remember that conversation vividly, which is just like no, but you're totally right, and staying true to yourself is so scary sometimes, and especially when what you do like maybe sometimes falls a little bit out of line.
For sure.
But then even more so, you just gotta keep going, because if as long as you do what you do with conviction, everything's gonna be fine. And this is like I feel this over and over again, because also obviously now I have a lot of doubts. Like what am I even doing? You know, it's just like sitting in my apartment and like doing these stupid little green screen edits, you know.
Just like, trying to get this shade of green out as well because you still can see things.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't know, adding fart noises in the video. It's like, what am I? I'm 27. What am I doing? You know. But
I'm so gonna add fart noises to every of your touch right now.
But then also I'm just like, but I'm enjoying this, and it doesn't need anything more than this, you know?
No.
As long as I'm content with what I'm doing, like who gives a flying wiener, you know? I don't know. Actually it's so easy, but it's so difficult to put into practice sometimes. But now that I'm like, actually in that regard, the isolation is actually quite beneficial for me. Like the isolation, I mean, from the artistic bubble, right? Because now I am my only judge, you know?
The focus shifts.
Yeah, exactly. Just me. I'm just me on my own. I am my only judge about what I'm doing. And that makes creating so much easier, because I can just let it flow without any kind of judgment about it. Without thinking, maybe this is not what I should be doing. Maybe this idea doesn't really work. But really just letting everything flow and letting everything happen, and just like keeping... I don't know, in a sense, just like keeping the output going and just letting everything out that wants to get out.
There's no filter anymore. You don't have to be scared of people seeing it or whatever, because you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. And like a thing that you also like talk about in some of the business classes that you have to do here is the entire thing about like branding and like artist identity and that kind of stuff. And this gets like a little bit... I don't know, it's easy to get like a little bit like obsessed about this, because you think, I want to be like this artist that's like very recognizable, that has like these very unique qualities and stuff. But then this can hinder your creation process so much, because for example, like I'm writing a song, but then I'm thinking, but this doesn't really suit my artist identity, because the song that I just put out is like a pretty humoristic and very lighthearted little song, right? But then I'm writing like super intense emotional lyrics, and I'm like, maybe this is just not maybe I don't know. But just letting go of this idea that I have to put everything into this box that is my artist identity, whatever that means. Like letting go from that has been so beneficial, and I'm so much more happy with what I do, because I feel like I don't have to satisfy anyone. But I can just
yourself.
It's like the focus shifts away from creating a product, but just allowing the process. And that's you hear this over and over from like, I don't know, like life coaches or something. I don't even know.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
The process is the most important thing. Nobody thinks about the product.
Yeah. And this is also like such an easy thought, but actually putting it into practice is so difficult. And I feel like now I'm at a point where I kind of can just let it go. And I've never felt better about my creations than now.
It's like beautiful.
In regards to music, in regards to like doing silly YouTube videos or whatever. I don't know. It just makes me so glad, because I'm just doing what I love all the time. Like I think this is now the point where I'm like, I have a good idea about what I want to do and like who I want to be, and I'm just now collecting all of these ideas. I'm putting them all into my bag, you know, and then at the end of the day, I can just see, oh, so what do we have here, you know?
Yeah.
What can I do with this? And I've also started to shift away mentally from just seeing myself as an artist, but also getting more into like the thought of writing for other people, you know? So now I have this little song, this little demo. Maybe this might fit this artist, you know? Because it's not my thing. Like, let's be honest, I wouldn't put this out under my name, but maybe it might be perfect for this person. And now I am slowly starting to figure out ways to start working with people again, because now that I'm not surrounded with like creatives all the time anymore, it's like I can, like one beneficial thing about this is that I can very easily kind of pick out who I want to work with. Like, for example, I was like, I heard some of your stuff and I was like, and also I knew that you were using Ableton, which is like, which was also very, very beneficial. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna try. Like, and then we met up and I showed you the demo and you were like, yeah, that's really cool. And then you had ideas and I was like, wow, these ideas are like really enriching the thing, like enriching the thing. And these processes are kind of what I'm looking for right now.
The most beautiful thing, working with other people.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember the two of us just like sitting around like in the, like I think it was like the bridge of the song, and there was like this super minor detail like with like some synth sound, and we were just like, yeah, but like we could tweak it a little like this, and we could also tweak it like this, and like spending an hour on like the most minute little thing that nobody's ever gonna hear probably, you know, and then in that moment we also talked about it, and then I was like, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that we're spending so much time on this little detail, but then you said, yeah, but it's so much fun, and then again it's like it's the process, it's not the product that counts, but it's the process, and now surrounding myself with people that I can enjoy the process with has been so great. It has been so amazing and so fulfilling also, because I don't want to be like, I've been thinking about, like if I do my own music, I want to do it completely on my own, so I can say it's my own thing through and through, right? I want to be able to, like, for example, an artist that I really like is Tyler, the Creator. And he's, as far as I know, like at least with the album Igor, he produced it entirely himself, I think. At least it says so on the album cover. And like he's doing a lot of stuff himself. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that too. Like I want to be able to like have this album and then tell people, yeah, I did this entirely myself. But then I realized that finishing songs alone is such a fucking chore. And it's so much more fun to work with people that you can work well with. Obviously it doesn't work with anyone, but having like these few people that you feel like are really contributing to what you're doing, it's so great. And that's kind of what I'm seeking now, because I've realized I figured out a way to like let go of my ego so much that I can also invite other people into the process, like people that I trust musically and artistically, and also that I just like personally. You know, that's like so important, because sure, I could be working with like, I don't know, I could spend a lot of money to work with like some very renowned producer like in the German pop scene, whatever. But then it would be such a like transactional experience. And I don't know, that's where I kind of have a little bit of difficulties with. And my ideal situation, or my ideal thought that I have right now is that I want to be so successful with my music, in a sense, that I'm able to work with the people that I want to work with, and also like just pay them appropriately, right? Because obviously now, and also inside of this artist school bubble, it's a lot of doing a favor for a favor, you know, which is totally fine. But like,
it's not sustainable in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. Like at some point, we all gotta pay rent, and like we gotta pay bills and stuff. So that's like kind of the aim that I have for myself right now, because there's like some musicians that I also used to study with, that I graduated with, that are now living their own lives, right? They gotta have money, you know. It's inevitable. So that's like kind of where I'm hoping that I can create a good working environment, so I can keep working in this way that is fulfilling to me, at least. So that's so much about that. Like, just I'm figuring out how to create the situations that fulfill me artistically, in a sense, and it's very exciting. And also, it's like, I mean, working with you for my single has been like the very first time I showed someone my thing, and it was about my thing. You know, of course, there have been instances where I would work together with someone and maybe we'd create something together, but it has never been, hey, I made this song and I want like your input on it to like finish my song, you know, because it's my song and only my song. It's like, I'm very I cannot put enough emphasis on this, but this has been also like such an interesting experience to me, and also again very fulfilling, because again, like, by doing what I do with conviction, I feel like I attracted the right people. Like in this instance, you, like as a like producer, mixer, masterer, whatever you want to call it. But like the whole process has been a little bit of German slipping through, has been so enjoyable and I want to do it over and over and over again, you know?
But that's the dream. I mean, it was also from my side. It was super nice working with you. It was just a blast, you know. I was super excited to just spend the day with you and just work on your song, and again your song. But that's also the nice part about it, because you still, and there I wouldn't even put much difference between you and Tyler the Creator there, because it was always your song, you know, and I didn't want to try to make it my song in any way, but I just wanted to help you create your vision and see what I can do to improve that, and what is in my hands to make the product there better, but also just enjoy the process with you, you know. But it was always, when we were talking about reverb, for example, and you said, I want this to be dry, this is my sound, I'm like, cool, yeah, let's do it, that's you, you know. But yeah, I think in the middle of the process, in the middle of making art, there's always people, and like the people are the core of it, and the beauty of it, and it's super nice. And what you're saying about wanting to like be so successful that you can sustain other people with you that you just want to work with is it's the dream, man, and it's super nice. I also think what you said about like the process versus the product is super interesting, because I recently like listened to a podcast. It was from photographers, and they showed each other pictures of what they were working on. They basically showed their work, but to that work, they didn't really talk about the picture itself. And were like, oh yeah, the color grade is so nice, but they talked about the stories they had, you know, the journey they had making this picture, the trip towards that specific spot in the middle of the desert, or how that helicopter that they photographed landed on that lake weirdly, or whatever, and just their friend calling them the day before being like, hey, I got a helicopter, do you want to do something, you know. And these stories are super nice, and I feel like you can feel that as well in the product, that the people enjoyed themselves doing that. But in the end, who cares about the final product if you just enjoyed the way towards it? And it's super nice, and I'm super glad that you're happy with what you did and what we did, and where you are right now as an artist. That's incredible, and that's super nice.
It's so cool, and this actually like makes me think about like us as contemporary musicians who like spend a lot of time like at their desk, like working digitally also. It's very difficult to see the journey sometimes, because like just like geographically you spend so much time just like, I don't know, sitting down practicing your instrument, or like sitting at a computer and like doing the software, you know. And just, I don't know, like, because now, like, for example, in my song, I can listen to the specific part that I was just talking about. I was like, oh yeah, I remember we were like standing around in the room, and like then you were putting out like the modular synth, and then but then it was like detuned, and then we used the Moog synthesizer, and it's like, there's like so much behind it now. There's and this I love it. The stories. I really live for the stories. And
I mean, that's also what your whole YouTube channel is now about, you know. You want to tell the stories behind the song, and that's what you did as well with your song, that you don't not only put out the song, but you put out like a 25-minute video telling about all your stories about parties and however that song came to be. And I feel like that also enriched the song so much for me, because I didn't know the stories, I just knew the song, but I watched that video, and it was super nice to just see, okay, this is what happened, and these are the stories that made this song happen. And I always love that, like, behind the scenes insight and into the artist's mind about how did that happen, what made him write this song.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
So maybe for the viewers and the listeners at home. So I never really explicitly said what the song is that I put out, and also never my artist name. Maybe this is a good little
put it in here in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm working under the artist name Timagotchi, which is like the little toy, but just with Tim, because I'm Tim and he's also Tim, so it makes a whole lot of sense. And the song that I put out is called Party, and it's a German pop song, which is about essentially not wanting to go to parties because parties suck sometimes. And as you already said, I put out this way too long 25-minute video. Well, I mean, I didn't intend it to be that long. Let's put it that way, maybe. Yeah, it just kind of happened. And we're getting a visitor. Yeah, so I put out this 25-minute long video of like me in front of a green screen talking about all these silly little experiences that I have with parties, essentially. Yeah. And also because, especially like, for example, in my time here in Arnhem at art school, I have always been the guy who went home first from a party. And like at the beginning, people were like, oh no, but like, you gotta stay a little bit longer. Come on, man. But then at some point, people were just like, oh, you're leaving? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's like the time that you usually leave. So yeah, that's okay. I don't know, this has been like such a personality trait that I thought like, okay, I'm gonna put this into a song. And I had so much fun like creating the song and like making the beat and like writing the lyrics, and then also making the music video, which is also just like me in front of a green screen pulling some sick moves. And this whole process behind it has been so much fun. It has been so much work doing this stupid green screen video, because exactly as you said, now it's like a little different shade of green, and now there's like a lot of noise in the picture, and I gotta go frame by frame, and probably I did a million things wrong, but I still did it. And that's what I'm so proud of. And even though it's not like entirely what I wanted it to be, like either the song or the video, but I did them, and now they're out there, and now it's part of my legacy. Yeah. You know, now this is part of my legacy already because it's out there and people can like listen to it. And now finally, for the first time in my life, when I tell people, yeah, I'm a musician, and then they ask me, oh, so like, what do you do? Like, can I listen to your stuff? I can actually say yes. And this is great. It's all about the content, baby. And I mean, no, this is obviously a very like radical mindset, but I mean, it kind of is like
it is very fulfilling to see that you pulled through and that you can now have a physical thing basically that is the product.
Yeah, and I know that like all of these, like the video and also the music, like it oozes my personality, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that, and now I can like very confidently tell people, yeah, this is a song I made, or look at this video that I made. I think it's very funny. And the right people will appreciate it, and the other people will just not care, and that's fine, you know? But like, I will reach the right people with it, and I'm getting so excited talking about it right now. It's so great. It's so great, and I'm so proud. And it has been a long way until here. Like so many, I think I once heard this analogy of like an animator, like someone who draws animations, and he said everybody has 10,000 bad drawings in them, and it's important to get them out as quickly as possible. Which essentially translates to just keep doing it, just keep pumping out things, because you gotta like diminish this 10,000 bad pictures number, right? Yeah. And it's the same with music. And when I look back to like the music that I made 5 years ago, good thing that this is just like rotting away on a hard drive. No, but I mean, all of these things have led me to this point that I am at right now, where I'm so comfortable with myself as a person and as an artist and as a creator. And I think, again, everybody has like 10,000 bad songs or like bad videos in them, but you just got to get them out as quickly as possible. Just trust the process, keep going, never stop, never look back, never ask any questions. No, I'm blabbering on right now, but but just keep doing it. I mean, Shia LaBeouf already said it, right? Do it. There you go. But it's so true. It's like so true. Yeah. And I'm very comfortable right now. I can just do it
Yep.
right now, and it's great. And I'm putting out things that I'm proud of, and I couldn't be happier right now. I feel like I'm doing exactly the right things, and it's great.
It's the
So
dream.
nice.
Super cool. Yeah, thank you so much. I would have one last question for you if you're down. I always ask my guests this, and it's always super interesting to hear the answers. It's about museum lives and the theory of that by an book author called Strzelecki. And the theory is basically that after you die, you go into your museum. And this museum is the Tim Museum, and it actually represents you accurately how you spend your lifetime. So if you sleep for 8 hours a day, 1/3 of that museum will be filled with sleep. And pictures about sleeping, you sleeping, videos of you sleeping, whatever, a bad installation, no matter what. But so your time is actually or accurately represented in everything that is there. And what that is supposed to be is kind of show you, okay, how am I spending my time right now? Is that right? What do I want in the museum? How should I spend my time? Am I doing everything right? Are there special people I want in my museum that just have to be on that wall because they changed the way I am and changed the life that I'm living right now? And yeah, just your take on that and what do you think about it?
Oh, I love it. This like reminds me of the of this one scene in Disney Pixar's Soul.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like where they're like in this like spirit realm, and they're like walking through Joe's museum, right? And like seeing all of his memories, and him just, oh man, I'm like starting to get goosebumps just thinking about this right now. But him just like looking at all of these things and just saying, my life was meaningless, like in the most somber way, and just like this like picture of him sitting in this cafe, just like eating a cake, and him just going, my life was meaningless. And it's like, that hit very hard. Movie. Yeah, it's such a great movie and such a great scene.
Movie.
And this has, like, when I saw that movie, it has also kind of like flicked the switch for me again. Like, yo, what am I even doing with my life?
Yeah.
And also reflecting on my music studies, which have been a lot about figuring out what I actually want to do, and like figuring out that what I want to do does not necessarily have to do with the things that I studied here. It's like people would say that like time is never wasted, you know, because you always do something, or like you're always somewhat conscious. But I do think that there's like wasted time. At least for me personally, I know that there's like time slots in my life where I could be doing something, but I kind of subconsciously decide not to. And then the next day, I'm like upset about myself because I didn't use that time to work towards my own goals, you know? And I'm actually, I'd be thrilled to see what's like in that museum, like right now up to this point, because I'm not even sure what I did up until now, you know? Because I feel like as an artist and as a person and as what I want to put into the world, I think now's the point where my journey like actually starts, you know? Or like, I mean, that is also like a bit difficult to say, but I think it does make a lot of sense. Like this is where my journey starts. And I don't know. I just really hope that like from now on it will be full of like silly little videos and like and like me standing in front of a green screen and swearing a lot because I don't know, like the shot doesn't look as I wanted it to be, and like just me being on my own, like in a room with a camera, and just like doing stupid things, because that's exactly what I want to do, and I hope that there will be a lot of very fulfilling like collaborations and very fulfilling people in my life, because I am very confident that like also from now on I will keep attracting the right people into my life.
I agree.
And I think I'm very confident that it's going to be full of like very, very fulfilling memories, because up until this point, like everything that happened before has been kind of like weird and like not really determined in a sense.
Yeah.
But I think trying to imagine it right now, I think everything is gonna point towards this moment that I am right now.
Yeah.
And now I'm actually gonna, you know,
it's super exciting.
Do serious business.
Serious business now.
Yeah.
Now you're doing it.
Yeah. Do it. So I'm very glad. I used to be very scared of this, and also just like I used to work in a special education school, and like one of the teachers that I was working with, he was about to retire.
Sorry.
And like I asked him, yeah, so how do you feel now, like about retiring, like and asking this like very stereotypical question, and would you do it again? Like, would you do the same things again? And then he was like very confidently, no, I will not become a teacher again. And I was like, what an awful thing to say after you've worked in this like job 40 years straight, you know? And it's just like, I do not want my life to be like this. Like at the end of my life, I want to be like, yeah, of course there have been like weird moments, but in the end, I always did what I wanted. And I always did everything for myself. Yeah. And yeah, I just feel like I'm at that point right now where I can like confidently choose myself over everything else and my own happiness about everything else. And yeah, so I think it's going to be a pretty cool museum to walk through, if I may say so myself.
Hell yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be nice. I want to get a ticket for that.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna put you on the guest list.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
No, but that's really beautiful, and I'm really again so happy for you. It sounds super great, and I'm super excited to see what comes next for you and what will happen. I'm going to be along for the ride for your journey, and up all the way until the museum. I'm going to be there.
Nice. I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I really am. I really am.
And also, thank you so much for doing this. It's been a blast talking to you. And thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. I want to thank my mom.
Oh yeah, this is your Oscar moment now, please.
Yeah. So I want to thank my. No, I'm sorry. No. So if you're interested in what I do, then you can find me on YouTube and Spotify as timagotchi, again with an I instead of an A. I'm not like the little toy, but like me, you know. And yeah, if you want to keep seeing what this guy's doing, because I think what he's doing is pretty cool.
Thank you.
You can find him where exactly?
Timmy Music. I'm going to put all the links to both of us in the description and all the videos, and
to all
you
the
can
Tims.
find all the Tims. You can find all the Tims in my description. Just all the links. Just I have all the names.
Just a list of a billion dudes named Tim.
No, but if you please check him out. He's doing a lot of great shit, and I'm super excited. So please check it out, and everything is going to be linked down below.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me. And I don't know, do you have like a catchphrase that you say at the end of the?
No, I usually, because I'm so afraid of catchphrases and like just awkwardly ending with people, I just fade out every time in the end. So slowly it will get dark now.
Okay.
And then nobody's gonna know the weird end to our conversation. That is
okay, and like probably also nobody's gonna hear us talk anymore. We're just gonna act like we're still like in the middle of a conversation. Like when like when like the news end and like the reporter's just like just like taking the things and like like what are you doing, man? Your job is done. Yeah. Just go away. You know?
So we'll just go away now.
Yeah, I think now it's time. Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna go that way.